Welcome back. Welcome in to the Lions Share podcast. Happy Labor Day to all you shareholders out there. Let's go. We got college football back in this previous weekend, and now it's the NFL's turn to take the stage. Football is back. NFL is back this week in just a couple days. Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday, we have NFL football and college football sandwiched in there as well. We are just a couple days away from NFL back on Thursday night on Prime. Oh, no, on NBC and Peacock, excuse me. And then we're just 5 days away from Lions versus Rams. Sunday night football starting it off hot in prime time. We want to welcome all the new shareholders that may be coming from our TikTok page, which has just happened to be blowing up. Welcome to the show, as Andrew would love to say. And I apologize for any bad audio from me in the last couple episodes. We've been trying to work through that here on the platform. Guys have sounded great. I have not been great at all times, so trying to iron out those issues. We have a poll down here in Spotify that you can vote on. Always remember that there is a poll option if you listen on Spotify. Look for that poll each and every episode. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Lions and the Rams preview. And then we're going to talk Lions season guarantees, hot takes, and more. And then we'll give you the all-anticipated Lions record predictions for this year. Then we go NFL division by division, pick the winners. Then we got the Super Bowl picks, and then we've got things at the end, including NFL Week 1 picks, because those are back once again. The all-season running total between the three of us will be back this year, and we kick it off right now in this episode. This is going to be jam-packed. So let's just get started, and that's the thing that's most present on everybody's mind right now, and that is Lions versus Rams. We just saw this last year in the playoffs. Stafford returns once again to Ford Field. We'll be on Sunday Night Football, NBC and Peacock, whichever you prefer. It's going to be at 8:20 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be home at Ford Field, and we will bring the boys in now to talk a little bit deeper about this matchup, as we always would do on a Walkthrough Wednesday episode. That's what we're going to do today, and then we'll get into season predictions. So, Lions versus Rams. Guys, what's initial thoughts? What are we thinking? Obviously, this seems like it just happened. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Feels like we were just watched this game back in January. Here we are, fast forward to September. I had to catch myself, almost said August. We are in September. What do you look for here in a season opener, especially against a formidable foe with the Rams, and of course, right back to it with Stafford back in his old home?
I think first things first, we're gonna have a few less boos this time around. I think now's a little more respectable. It's not so much a playoff game, and we've gotten ours, so now all's fair. And we're ready to go. So that's probably going to be first. But first things first, you got to get a dub. You got to start off your season hot. You can't start off on the wrong note. And if we're looking ahead, which we shouldn't, they got to go 3-1 before this bye. I mean, that's the biggest thing. At worst, they can be 3-1 going into her.
I think Andrew said it all. I mean, just come out, play fast, play hard, play the DC brand of football. A lot of young guys. Probably going to get a lot of playing time, so we're bound to see some mistakes. Just make them fast. Make them fast and move on. Do the Ted Lasso, be a goldfish, but I don't mind seeing a hole in the wall as long as I screwed that up. I tried to do a West Wing quote, but it's on me, boys. We're at a rough start here, but just make your mistakes. Make them fast, though. I mean, we can't don't hesitate. Don't question yourself and your ability. Got to see the rookies and the guys flying around out there. See some mean Detroit Lions gritty football.
Yeah. Not sure where you're going with the hole in the wall there. Do love me a hole in the wall bar. I got a note on here. It looks like maybe from you. A little screenshot here from Instagram. Andrew doesn't have Instagram, so it's got to be from you. Are you anticipating that the Lions just maybe wearing their black alternates?
Seems like they're teasing it, doesn't it? They kind of put it on there, and then they just dropped more. It seems like they might drop their colorways for the entire season this week. That's what it kind of felt like in the comments section of the Instagram post. But the Instagram post, for those who haven't seen it, it just says game mode on, and it's the all black uniform. So I'm kind of feeling like they're going all blacks for the opener this year.
Andrew, you seeing this? Any thoughts about the all blacks?
I haven't heard one way or the other. You know, I'm always going to be the last to find that out. Ooh, that does look like a heavy tease, though, by the media department. Yeah, because what are they doing? Like night mode on? Is that what they're kind of simulating here with game mode and then the ticker for on?
So I looked it up. The little end like that's German for finally. So I don't know if it's like unless I don't know. I just don't know. Listen, I think again we talked about this. These blacks are just I love the blacks. Just do the normal helmet. The blacks with the silver helmet is what we need to see here, boys. I'm not the blue helmet gives me Panthers vibes.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, Panthers. Feels like Panthers.
I do love that blue shiny helmet from last year, though. I wish that was incorporated a little more. That thing was awesome. And who posted this? Was that the German
It's
Lions
official
account?
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, it's a shared post with the Deutsch, Detroit Lions Deutsch for St. Brown there.
That looks pretty funny, doesn't it? Detroit Lions Deutsch.
A little bit,
Sorry to all of our German listeners.
of which there are many. Shout out to your followers too. There, Jobo Robinson in the likes there.
There he
Shout
is,
out to
isn't
him.
he? What a
Yeah,
cutie.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. A handsome one at that. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I've heard some talk on Reddit about this as well. Saw this. Andrew's got maybe breaking news.
I do have a quote from Taylor Decker as well. Said he fully expects fans to try and break the sound record again Sunday Night Football.
Hey man, they got pretty close last year at a couple of those playoff games, and who's to say that this isn't going to be just as loud as some of those playoff games, right? I mean, same atmosphere in Fort Field always. It seems to just be a little elevated when you got Stafford in the building.
Do we think they're going to have a non-sold out home game this year, or do you think they will sell out every home game?
We talked about this on the last episode.
Just want to double check here, boys.
Yeah, we're locked in, standing room only for the rest of the year.
I don't even think there's going to be that though.
Probably not. No, probably. I mean, you can only have so much standing room only. You know, I mean, you could probably add a couple thousand,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're at what? It's about 70,000, I think, is what Ford Field holds. A little 63. I think it's 63,000, closer to 70 with standing room maybe. Here's a question for you, Andrew. Maybe you've got the answer to this. How many people can you pack into Levi Stadium, the 49ers field?
It's an open air stadium, so occupancy restraints don't really come into play. Plus, when you're going back to COVID rules, it's basically outside, so it's totally cool. As many as you want.
Okay. Just pack them in like sardines. So as we said, this was a rematch of last year's wild card matchup, which the Lions were victorious in. The Lions won 24-23. At one point, the Lions were up 14-3 in this one. You remember famously that Stafford and the boys from the Rams clawed their way back, made this one interesting, and we closed it out. We, as in like I'm on the team or something, but the Lions closed it out with St. Brown catching that ball for the first down, and they were able to take victory formation to the W there with the zeros on the clock. What a crazy time that was to be a Lions fan. First of our across the board here on the board, first of our lives to see the Lions win a playoff game. So that was huge. The Rams, of course, last team they played was the Lions. If we want to talk about players that are no longer on teams for the Rams, they lost Aaron Donald, of course, the Hall of Famer, presumptuous Hall of Famer. And he's gone. So that's a big element, not only a captain, but the guy on defense for them. They lost Tyler Higbee for the first half of the year, so they'll be without their starting tight end for this game, of course. They got a new center, and it's kind of up in the air on who's going to play it. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they've got Coleman Shelton, who came in the offseason, was presumably going to be the center, but now it sounds like that offensive line kind of in shambles with their left tackle going to be out. So now it's saying maybe, just maybe, we'll have Jonah Jackson at center for the Rams.
Yeah, so I dropped that link in there for you guys. Rams fans, not super happy about this. I think that's something that Lee McNeil is really going to exploit if that's the case. You're asking somebody who's been playing guard for how many years? It also just doesn't, to switch to center, it just doesn't make a ton of sense either. You pay Jonah Jackson a good amount of money. Like he's up there in terms of top paid at the position, and you're gonna shift him to center. That's gonna be something to watch because that's gonna be huge again for Aleem. I think he tees off if they move Jonah to center.
Yeah, I think for the whole offensive or whole defensive line of the Lions, that's your target right there. It doesn't matter if they have Jonah at center or guard, and they've got this new guy in at Coleman Shelton. It's still gonna be new for the quarterback exchange with the center, whoever it is. So definitely something I've got it in my keys. I think that's the big onus for the defense. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, what was his contract? Like 17. I think that article said it's like 17 mil a year, like the third highest paid guard, something like that. So, but I
Disgusting.
mean, if he has experience, I mean, I think he's definitely filled in for Ragnow here and there, and I'm sure he's done it more in practice. So, I'm sure he'll be able to figure it out. But definitely, Aleem gonna use that. DJ Reader hopefully exploits it even more.
If we have DJ Reader in this one, that we'll get to the injuries report
He'll
here
be
in just
there.
a little bit. Spoiler alert. But yeah, then in terms of that's who they lost, that's who the Rams lost, and something to watch for fans, shareholders. Watch that offensive line for the Rams. But they did gain Blake Corum, ex-Michigan Wolverine. Don't know how much action he'll be in. Obviously, they've got Kyron Williams back there already, the number one. They got Jonah Jackson. This will be a revenge game for him. They also got two pretty solid cornerbacks to shore up that secondary with Darius Williams and Tre'Davious White. So watch for that. One of my keys, if we want to talk about it ahead of time, is just it's going to be a different secondary there for the Rams. They've definitely upgraded, and first game for them, so some jitters to walk to iron out there for the Rams, but that's who is new faces and new places there in LA. So it's still the same prolific offense. Of course, the Rams got Puka Nakua, they've got Kyron Williams, they've got Cooper Kupp, they've got Stafford, of course. So they're going to get theirs, and it's going to be a big test for the Detroit defense with that new secondary, as well as a lot of guys in new places there on the defensive side of things. And the wide receivers for the Lions, I think, get tested, and with a new improved cornerback room for the Rams. Any other notes for you guys? What do you think going into this matchup as far as do you see it being as close as a game as the wild card was from last year, just a 1 point differential?
I think when you look at our score predictions, if that's what you wanna segue into there, Benjamin. Um, I've got it close, not that close. I don't want it to be that close. No more toilet paper games this year. Maybe a couple, just for funsies, just for old time's sake. Not quite as many. I've got Lions 28, Rams 24. Uh, Lots of rookies on defense. I think it's going to take a few games for them to gel and mesh. Obviously, we had the preseason, but that's nothing like the regular season, to be honest. I think Stafford's going to throw it all over the yard. I know you guys are going to talk about that a little bit, but I think he throws two interceptions, one late in the game, just trying to force something to happen, one early because it's Stafford, and God love him. I know I do, but that's what he does. Um, I think it's going to be a tight game, but it's going to be a great start to Sunday Night Football, great start to the season. And point of emphasis for me, drag him out to the deep end and just keep treading water.
Andrew, what say you?
Love the throwback Dan Campbell quote there, Mitch. Lovely. Yeah, I don't think you ever get rid of the toilet paper games with Dan Campbell. It comes with the territory. I got the Lions winning this one 17-16. Jake Bates going to find a way to hit himself a game winner. He's going to become an instant fan favorite in Detroit after this one. And I think the new backfield gets torn up. I think they get torched pretty heavily week one. I think they give up an early, deep ball. And then after that, I think they work on keeping everything in front of them. I think they're going to give up some deep plays, but I think the red zone defense will hold stout, and the Rams are going to have to settle for field goals going out throughout this whole game.
Love it, love it. Thank you, as always, to the founder of Conspiracy with the always interesting score totals, and you'll have some more of those as the season goes on, of course. All right, that means it's my turn. So I've got the Lions here 21-13. I think, to counter your point, Mitch, maybe I'll go a little devil's advocate here. I think this is the season that we see the Lions outgrow the old TP games, and we start to have some differentials that aren't so close. I think you'll have a few in there, of course. You got a lot of tough matchups this year, this being kind of one of them, right? I think the Rams are a solid team. And but I do think without their left tackle, with the offensive line as fragmented as it is, I think the Lions know exactly what they need to do in this one. It's a familiar foe. They just beat these guys back in the playoffs. It's in the same place. The Rams' last matchup, they had 400 yards plus, 425, I believe, in that ballpark. So I'm looking for the defense to hold them under 325. I think this new improved defense gets better as the season goes on. They give up some yards, as Andrew said, early and kind of tighten up. And then I'm seeing them take advantage of that offensive line that's lacking for the Rams. And I see Khalif Raymond and some others try to step up and fill the void, because Josh Reynolds had a big part in the W last year. Obviously, he's no longer in the building. So I'm going to fill that void with the other guys in that wide receiver room, and the Lions win it 21-13. Rams a little bit lower scoring here in this one.
Let the record show I said I don't want any more TP games. I said a couple. Andrew said I think Andrew said I want all TP games. I don't want any blowouts. I want them all close. That's more. Play the tape. Andrew said much more TP games. I don't want that many.
I don't know if I said you wanted them. I said you can't outgrow them. That's a Dan Campbell. Comes in hand.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you got to mature out of it at some point if you're going to win Soupies. In terms of injuries, pretty light. Obviously, first week of the year, but Andrew touched on it. So far, we don't have an injury report because we're still several days out, but it's according to Dan's presser today, his only concern is with Ifedi Melifonwu, the safety there. It sounds like everybody else is practicing, trending to playing. You know, you've got a couple guys that were banged up. Obviously, DJ Reader's coming off of that injury, and a couple others that had injuries in the preseason / training camp. But seems like everybody's on track to starting this game, but with the exception of Melifonwu. And the Rams, of course, are without their starting left tackle due to a suspension. So that's big for them. Captains, you guys see the captains got revealed today. The Lions going with 6 once again, and that includes JRM back at it again. Love that for him. Jalen Reeves-Maven, Alex Anzalone, Hutchinson, St. Brown Goff, and Penei Sewell. Hutchinson is your newest one. Last year it was Charles Harris, I believe, was the other captain there, and he's gone now, obviously. And they elevate Hutchinson, who is now entering his 3rd season. So good for him to finally get the C on his chest. Well deserved. And those are your captains for the 2024 Lions. I think they nailed it as usual. And Spotify shareholders, you can comment below your prediction for the Lions versus Rams. Take that pick and make it right now if you're thinking about it. Anything else from you guys as far as Lions versus Rams?
Just excited to be back. It's crazy because I feel like the season ended last year in absolute heartbreak. Felt like we were going to the Super Bowl, but then I thought, we'll never be back. Blink of an eye, boys. We did it. We're back. Football season is here.
Yeah, I just wish we could time travel at this point. I think if you add anything else, it's that the Lions ended the Rams season last year, and they're the last thing that they've been thinking about. Can't underestimate this game.
Absolutely, and looking forward to the Buccaneers as well. Same thing with them. I know you've mentioned that in the past. Lions beat the Bucs last year, so that is their last team as well. So fresh in their memory, of course, and that's always a recipe for a little extra motivation there for the teams coming into town. So, yeah, same will be the case for the Los Angeles Rams. And have you guys heard anything about the Stafford? Andrew, you touched on about the boos. What is the anticipation? Are they going to boo the heck out of the family again? Are they going to boo the kids?
I don't think anybody's really going to get booed. I think he'll definitely get booed on field. And I think the team will get booed as they run out, just because that's you're in enemy territory. But like I said, at this point, they got their playoff win. It was a big returning playoff game. No matter the quarterback in that situation, they would have got booed. Just happenstance.
Did you guys catch any of Stafford or McVay on Pardon My Take?
No.
First of all, Great. Like they talked about how so after the Stafford interview, they talked about how they've been trying to get him on for years and it's just never worked. And they're just like, yeah, he's exactly what we thought he would be. Just an all-time, just like good dude. Just such a good dude. And he was super cool in the interview, just like really laid back, um, super sharp. And they obviously talked about that. And he's just like, yeah, I expect nothing less. Like those guys deserve it. And McVay and Stafford both said it's one of the best environments they've ever played in. And McVay specifically drops like a couple games, and I think McVay says it's the loudest game he's ever played in or ever been a part of.
I did see the
Shout
clip
out
about
to
that.
the Lions fans.
Man, no one does it like Detroit. Ford Field. And that's the expectation each and every game. Doesn't matter who they're playing. Obviously, last year, very loud in the playoffs, but regular season, they just weren't on the map enough for people to realize how loud it was. It was then shown to everybody once they were in primetime, of course. And this one in primetime. So, you know what that means? We're going to have none other than Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico in this one. Yeah, actually, I might be wrong there. Because they do the opener on Thursday. And I think Collinsworth might not do both. So that means, God forbid, we have Jason Garrett in the booth. Even worse.
Yeah, heads up for the listeners too. Not going to be on Amazon Prime for the first Thursday Night Football. Starts week 2 there.
Yeah, starts week 2. That was my Freudian slip earlier. You want to go Thursday night, but this is Sunday Night Football, of course, and the opener on Thursday, Ravens Chiefs, is not on Prime. It is Sunday Night Football on Thursday night, not to be confused with Thursday Night Football on Prime. So there you go. If you got Peacock, you can watch all that. That's kind of the way to do it. Peacock just raised their prices because that's what people are doing these days. Just so a heads up there for you Peacockers out there. Let's move into everybody's favorite segment. We're going to do a little Lions record predictions for the entirety of this season. This is probably my favorite episode. This is probably my favorite part about this episode is we do a ceiling where we see everything happening right, and then we'll unveil that record. Then we have our realistic, and then we have our floor. So let's go first to you, Andrew. We'll do a little switch up. Mitch gave us his prediction for Lions Rams first. Let's go to you first, sir, for your Lions season prediction.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody wants a little bit of flair. I know I give some weird scores, but I think I feel pretty vanilla, pretty basic with these picks. You look at this schedule, and the ceiling is what they should be doing. If in all honesty, their ceiling should really be
you can't
what they
hedge
should be
realistic.
achieving.
No,
You listen to me, hey buddy, I got the
There's
mic.
three
You mute yourself at
categories.
this point. It's my turn. This is my prediction. Okay, pal. Their ceiling, I think I've got them at about 14-3. Realistically, gonna come in at about 12-5. That's what I got them falling at. I'm glad I'm going ahead of Mitchell too. By the way, we'll get this out now. I think they're gonna finish 12-5. If they can get a couple bounces to go their way, they can get to 14 wins. Nothing past that, really, in my eyes. And then they've got like a big floor. If they really just dump the pants in the North and the Bears are who they are and the Packers become kings of the North, I think they could finish with 8 wins and looking at a devastating turn of events.
Okay, well, let's not think about that. God, geez, under 500. I felt like the
You
shot.
want the floor?
I did ask for the floor. Tommy and I did ask for the floor, so we got the floor. Yes. I did feel like your point about 14 wins plus not being a possibility. I feel like that was a shot at me, but a little foreshadowing there. But thank you, sir, for all your picks and your ceiling, your realistic, and your floor, your CRF. Mitch, let's see yours.
I'm right there with Big Papa on the ceiling, 14-3. Ceiling means like the ceiling. That's the best I think that they can do. That's what just ceiling means. And then realistic, because that's a different category. I also have them 12-5, so I think I have the same thing as Andrew, but I guess I'm not really sure because he kind of like ran into like a Josh Allen, Justin Herbert situation here. So, yeah, I got 14-3 ceiling, which would be a great season. I think they have a tough schedule. Like the NFC North there's no slouches, even with the Vikings. Like I think the Vikings are still going to be a stout team. Realistic 12-5. I got the floor at 10-7. I think anything less than that is a massive disappointment. I think 10-7, you sneak into the playoffs, hopefully, and you've got a lot of tough games under your belt, and you go on a little run. That's the floor for me. I think anything less than one playoff win minimum is a huge disappointment. I think if they don't make the playoffs, like there's going to be a lot of people that look back on last year and think ultimate fluke. It's still the same old Lions.
Couldn't have said it better. That's beautiful. Beautiful work there from the man from Fort Wayne.
I did not see yours, Ben. I'm sorry. Everyone, I stole Ben's thunder, but I just now I'm seeing Ben's notes there. That's on me.
Yeah, I did my floor a little differently. Maybe I'll go reverse order here and do floor first. So I couldn't remember how we called this last year. I was thinking like what would be a letdown, and for me that would be less than 10 wins. So nine wins or less, and a playoff loss in the first round, or not, or no playoffs at all. That's an absolute letdown. I think at this point we've matured to the point where that's the expectation in Detroit, and you're anything less than that is a letdown. So realistically, see this team as a 13-4 team. I think they can get right around that win total from last year. You guys made great points about how tough the schedule is and all the factors that come into this record, but I think I can easily see this team a 13-4 team. I think they can beat anybody on their schedule, and therefore that's why I got my ceiling way up there at 16-1 with one lone loss to the Green Bay Packers. And I see them at 16-1. I could see them. I could see them 16-1. No doubt in my mind they can beat anybody, but it is a tough schedule, and so realistically 13-4 for me.
If we're gonna do final record predictions as well, did you guys see this this post on the Ditka Dan Campbell comparisons?
No.
I did see it, but please enlighten me.
All right. So here's just a little side by side of player, coach, into career. Right. So Ditka played for the Bears. Dan Campbell played for the Lions. Both tight ends. Both wore number 89. Both went on to coach their respective teams. First season were both in a rebuild. Second season both had a rebuild. In their third season as head coach, both of them were division champs. And both of them lost to the Niners in the NFC Championship game. And in Ditka's fourth season, he goes on to win the Super Bowl.
I love stuff like this.
Wow. So this is incredible. Pulled it up for you on Reddit as you were talking about it.
Drop that in the notes, please.
Oh, is it not legible?
No. I just want to save it.
Here, I'll drop it in the chat, in the old live stream chat here. Not live stream chat, whatever it is. Does that go to you guys? Studio chat. Sorry. Here you go.
Yeah, talking about, pal.
I don't know. Tommy, get that link to Mitch. But yeah, great point for you to bring up, Andrew. What do you think about it?
I think I like what Mitch has to say. These things are fun. These things are really, really fun to dream of. I don't want to get my hopes up here, man. I'm staying level.
Okay. You're grounded with the guys here. Grounded with the guys. Not pulling out a smash mouth. I'm a believer. You're not a believer in this.
It's just a bunch of dudes looking at pictures together, man. Side by sides.
Just guys being dude.
The founder of Conspiracy, though, the baloney slinger himself, doesn't think there's too much of a coincidence here that last question mark is going to get filled in.
It's going to get filled in with something, whether it be a Super Bowl win, a playoff run, or a really good season. It will get filled in. There will be an outcome to his fourth season.
It's not going to be a hole in the wall.
I love that. I hope that graphic gets updated next year. Really good season.
Yeah. And no longer Mike Ditka 2.0. It's gone. All right, let's talk about what might surprise us from this Lions team. This is a new segment for those shareholders that have been with us for every season coming up here. Let's talk something that might surprise us.
New segment. New segment. New segment.
Sound effects provided by Mufasa. Your ad here.
I'll kick it off, Ben. leading the league in forced turnovers. I just think, again, I think it's going to take some time, but once these guys start flying around in the secondary, you got a lot of young guys hungry for the ball. We know what some of the guys that have been here that can do if he's just a ball hawk and turned into a sack machine at the end of the year. So I think you're going to see some interceptions in the secondary forced by pressure from Hutch and Houston. I think they're going to figure out a way to make Houston the pass rush weapon that he should be. And I think that's where a bulk of the rest of the turnovers are going to come. Aleem, Hutch, Houston, getting back there, making the quarterback uncomfortable, throwing the ball, getting some strip sacks. You know, we love those. I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers from the Lions defense this year.
I'll piggyback off of that one for you, Mitch, too. If you're forcing a lot of turnovers, you must have a really good rated defense. Would love to see it. Top 5 defense with a top 5 offense at the same time. Just, and then rank the special teams.
Oh, top 5 for that, too. Hit them on all ends, you know? Hit them from both sides, right? Hey-o. You got did you say the 1,000-yard rushers? You got that in there, right?
Oh, yeah, that one as well. Monty and Gibbs. I don't think Reynolds and Vaki are going to contribute to this, unfortunately, but they were trying to do it last year. Don't know if it's ever been done in history. Don't think it's ever been done in Lions history. So shareholders, if you know, let us know. But dual 1,000-yard rushers.
If you know, you know. And don't forget about St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs' bet that he would get over 1,000 yards or 1,500 all-purpose between something like that. Correct us on that too, shareholders. Mine is a 4th down conversion higher than last year. So last year they were at 60%. I think they will best that this year. We'll see a team that's even better on 4th down this year by the product of maybe going for it a little less, or at least maybe going for it in more opportune situations, therefore rising that number to maybe 70%. I think they could be flirting with a potential highest record ever in terms of 4th down conversions, because you know Dan's going to continue to be that guy, Dan the Gamble Campbell, and expect more of that. That's certainly not going away, even if they do have a kicker back there finally. Well, those were our surprises. Now let's talk about our guarantees. We are guaranteed these are going to happen. I will start with mine this time. We'll kind of snake order it, sort of. I'm going to say they win on Thanksgiving for the first time since 2016. Hard to believe it's been that long. But a win on Thanksgiving and a win in Dallas. And that's been even longer, since 2011. But really, it was just last year, you know, because that was actually a W. And any Lions fan knows that. And even the Cowboy fans know that. But they will win on Thanksgiving and win in Dallas. Book it.
Would love to see them bring a W back from Dallas. Thank you for the good vibes, Ben. Let's guarantee that home open W too. Got to start that season off right. Send Stafford home packing. Whew, that's a weird thing to mix up there, boys. Also, always got to follow it up with a win after the bye. You know me. I'm always going to put that on there. They will win coming out of the bye week this week. And I will say they will repeat the North Championship. They will be Kings of the North once again. Here's the heavy one. And Ben, I see your comments here. Don't know how long they've been around here. But scoring on opening drives, that's going to be a big one and a big key to success, whether they take 3 or 7 points out of it. Got him going 13 of 17 weeks, though. Scoring on opening drives.
Beautiful.
I love that. Guarantees from me. Another NFC Championship appearance. I think we all said we expect a Super Bowl, but I'm guaranteeing they make it to the NFC Championship. Who knows what happens there? Would not be shocked in the slightest if it was an NFC Championship rematch. That's how we get to the Super Bowl, a little bit of a revenge game. I think it's a little bit softer than Andrew's. What I think Andrew said might shock the rest of the league. I'm guaranteeing top 10 offense and defense. I think that easily, with their revamped defense, and the investments and stuff that they've made, the offense is going to be the offense. I think we're only missing that big body receiver that we're going to find off a practice squad. Shout out Tim Patrick. I hope you're crushing it out there. And we're going to have 5 field goals of 50-plus yards this year.
Woo!
Pop quiz for you guys. How many 50-yarders did the Lions have last year?
2.
Andrew.
Wow. I was gonna say way more than 5. I was gonna say like 7.
Let me rephrase this. Let me go again. Two-parter. Ben, I'll throw it back to you. How many did they attempt? How many did they make?
Say they attempted maybe 6 and made 2. I'm going to stick with 2.
Okay.
2 makes.
50 plusers.
Yep.
I think they attempted 12, made 6.
Keep your pants on, boys. 2 attempts of 50-plus yards last year. 2 attempts.
Can you cut my answer? Cut it.
Yeah. Yes, if you just keep fractioning your answer, you will eventually get there. That is crazy. I think it goes back to Ben's point. I think we're still going to see a super aggressive Dan Campbell, but I've got 50-plus yarders. 2 attempts on the entire season is pitiful. Bates changes that. I think it's a huge switch up from last year.
Digging deep for those statistics, Mitch. You went deep for that one. And hopefully we'll see Bates going deep this year. Ayo. With those 50-plus yards. I like where your head's at on that one. I think that's got a good opportunity
do we need
to happen.
Do we need to start an AO jar? You just AO'd yourself twice in about 5 minutes.
It's for all those new shareholders out there, you know.
All right.
We gotta keep the fire. Gotta keep the fire. Those are our season guarantees, and I love everybody's homework that they did. Those are great. Shareholders, if you got anything, our lines are always open in the comments. Of course, Spotify now has comments, by the way. That was something I was supposed to do at the top. Sorry, Tommy didn't get me that one. But yeah, you can leave comments now on Spotify, folks. So if you're listening on Spotify, not only can you vote in the polls down below, you can also comment anything. Doesn't have to be about anything in particular, but you can comment whatever you want. And, maybe we'll feature it on the next episode. So there's a little note for you all, shareholders. Let's keep this train choo-choo. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to NFL season predictions. The boys just talked a little bit about the season guarantees and kind of hinted at the Lions' fate there in the playoffs, talking about potentially a deep run there. So let's talk about the landscape as a greater scheme, which is the NFL. Let's talk about the other teams involved and then get down there to the Super Bowl predictions and talk about where we see this outlook going for this season. So let's kick things off with the AFC West. Who do you got winning the AFC West, Mr.? Let's go to Andrew.
Sorry, I'm not going to lie. I sent you the direct message. Came across a sick new wallpaper with the full Lions schedule, so was getting that all propped up on the phone there. Felt good. If we're going to AFC West, though, Chiefs going to run it back. Think old Gardner Minshew might take a stab at it, but Chiefs at the end of the day.
Mitchell?
Okay, so we're just doing winners, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, do with it whatever you want, man.
Okay, do whatever I want.
This podcast is your oyster.
Chiefs are going to run it back. I just think Patrick Mahomes, we have to pick the Chiefs until Patrick Mahomes says otherwise. It's essentially where we're at. And even when Patrick Mahomes has no supporting cast, the Chiefs are like, yeah, we're just going to have a really good defense. So I think as long as Andy Reid is there and Patrick Mahomes, they've always got a chance. Listen, I think you boys are overly high on Gardner Minshew. I love Gardner Minshew for the story. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to figure out a way to get it done. I think Chargers finish second in the AFC West.
So, spoiler alert, I got the Raiders finishing second ahead of the Chargers there. My reason's not so much about Gardner as much as it is about the belief I have in Antonio Pierce there at the helm. I have faith in him. I think he's going to get the most out of that roster. And I will say, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers on the rise. I think they do start to compete for the Chiefs' crown here in this division next year. I think this is a ramp-up year. I think they're going to make some noise, but they're going to lose some games they shouldn't. And therefore, they're going to finish third, sandwiched between the Raiders and the Broncos. And, of course, you've got the Chiefs number one there. I think this is the Chiefs division, as everything Mitch said was very factual and very true. So until the Chiefs get dethroned, it's their division. Let's go to the AFC East now. Now, this one we've got a little differential. Obviously, you've got the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots in this division. The Patriots going to be last. You're going to have the Dolphins on the decline. They're going to finish third, even with that prolific offense. And you're going to have the Bills finishing second because they're going to have like one more win than the Dolphins. And then the Jets are going to be at the top of the division. Sorry to say it. I don't like Aaron, but I just think they've got the best opportunity out of these 4.
I'm going to go ahead and speak for me and Big Papa, and then I'll let him do the next one. We mirrored each other. Ben is on absolute crunk juice down in San Antonio. Dolphins are going to finish first here. Way too much belief in Aaron Rodgers. We're not sure he's going to make it through the whole season. Guy's like 57 years old and just huffing ayahuasca all the time, drinking it, whatever you do. Dolphins, Jets, Bills in 3rd, Pats in 4th.
Lovely, Mitchell, lovely. And I'll try to, I guess, speak for all of us, I suppose, here in the AFC South. We're all very high on CJ Stroud and the Texans. Definitely think they're going to be walking away with this. The rest of the division, though, brings a lot of confusion to the rest of us. I'm running it back, Colts, Titans, Jags. And it's some variation between the other one. Ben has no idea, so he may have another word to go here.
I guess I'm up. I don't know what to do with this division outside of the Texans. Texans are going to be good this year. They're going to be probably a 12 to 14 team, 14 win team. I'm having an Andrew situation there with the Packard and Stafford. So I've got Texans 1, Jags 2. I think the Jags are going to be on the rise. They struggled last year. They had a good start to last year and then struggled. I'm a believer in Trevor Lawrence, and the rest is going to fall out into a tie between the Colts and the Titans because I don't know what to do with the last 2.
Yeah, I mean, Texans. I think the Colts with Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be a good solid quarterback for a long time. Jags will be fine. Titans are just not going to be good. I think Titans probably going to draft a quarterback next year. I would not be surprised by that one single bit. Andrew, you a big Will Levis guy?
I think the Titans are a big Will Levis guy. I think you're sadly mistaken, my man.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I mean, next year's his third year. So we'll see what we see.
This year, I mean,
see what we see this year. Yeah, but it's kind of low risk. Like you go in to draft a quarterback next year. You have a true competition. You got 2 rookies on the pay scale or payroll. We'll see.
I think if he's 500 or better, he's ride or die with him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a make or break season for a couple quarterbacks. I think Will Levis. I think we're skipping around here a little bit. Bryce Young. I think he has another bad season, and Panthers with their terrible ownership probably gonna move on. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that brings us to the AFC North, boys.
I've got one more thing. You guys remember? Remember when the Titans drafted Malik Willis?
Yeah.
They have not had a good record there for sure.
I'm going to shout out someone who I don't know if they want to be name dropped, a certain someone whose name is Peanut Butter and Blank. Peanut Butter and Blank. If you guys see where I'm going with this, their name is Blank. That really thought the Lions should draft Malik and like possibly move up for Malik. So, Peanut Butter was shoving up your ass.
Jelly wasn't the only one who said that. There were a lot of people. I couldn't believe that. Would that have been the first year? Nah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, obviously now
not the first year. And Brad came out and said, "Hey, he went where we had him. We had a third or fourth round grade on him. Like, did not have him in the 4th round or 1st round. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was just
crazy.
Goes to show how crazy the quarterback market is and continues to be.
Yes.
AFC
North. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. Boys, I want to take a quick. I'm gonna cut you guys off here. I'm looking at this. We've all got the Browns finishing last. I think I'm gonna do okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do what Ben's doing here. I like the Browns 3rd, Steelers last. I'm gonna do the same thing, Ben. I don't know how we all landed on Browns last. The Browns defense is still the Browns defense. I'm gonna switch it up live. Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers last.
Agreed. I went through, because I'm a crazy man, I went through every single game and predicted every single game for the year to see what I got for these records. I know, I had to tell myself that. So I got the Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers in this one now. I think the Bengals, Browns, Ravens are all very close to a 3-way tie for this one. This one's going to be the one that comes down to it. Probably going to be the Sunday night football matchup of Week 18, the one that gets flexed into that window as the last game of the regular season. It's probably going to be the matchup between two of these teams, and yeah, this one's going to be contentious, that's for sure. But Bengals going to take it barely.
See, I think the Bengals are going to be good, but I think Burrow's injury is going to carry over from last year. He's not going to be the same guy, and I think the Ravens will squeak it out just because of Lamar and Lamar alone. And that's not defense. Hey.
Skinny Lamar is back.
Is he now?
Did you see that? Oh yeah,
I have not seen
or something
it.
like that, right?
Yeah, he dropped some weight, and he said he was fat last year. So Skinny Lamar, MVP Lamar weight is back.
Diarrhea in the offseason sounds like it was off the chain for Lamar.
He's on that Ozempic.
Just to both of your point, Andrew, I would not be surprised if the Ravens pulled this out with Skinny Lamar.
And then I got a flip-floppy. I got to fade you guys, Steelers-Browns. I'm going Steelers in the third slot. I know you guys are known victim haters and everything, but
You're an ally. Yeah.
I just can't side with what's his name? I still don't know his name. Won't even say it. Won't even say it aloud.
Yeah, watch on me. Yep, you're an ally. That's fair.
NFC West, see? I don't know who you guys have there at the top, but I've got the Rams as a surprise winner of this division. Went through game by game. You want to know how I went through it game by game? I can do every single game if you'd like. I'm not going to do that. I'll save that for another episode, the Lions Share Extended Edition. I've got the Rams starting things off at the top there. They will be 14-3 is what I see. They'll lose to the Lions, but they will go on a streak there. Not far behind them, the 49ers with 13 wins this season, and then the Seahawks finishing in third there, and then the Cardinals because, yikes, Arizona.
Mitch, you or I? Do you want to call him an idiot, or should I do it?
It's your turn. You speak for both of us. Your turn.
All right, dumb. The 49ers are running this back. There's just no shot. But I think we can all ride step. Cardinals are a really, really, really bad team, and with Kirk Cousins at the helm, the Hawk Tuas take one step forward.
Wait, who's gonna tell him, Mitch? You or me?
Andrew, I hate to tell you this. We are laughing for wildly different reasons.
No.
It's not because of your joke.
No.
Folks, we know football.
What did I do?
The Seahawks are not who Kirk Cousins plays for.
That's a tough look by me there. Those Redbirds, I'm gonna just give myself a little defense on this one.
They're are in the
Hawks.
AFC.
Though there always should be Hawks. Okay, let's be real. Regardless of the situation, I think Gino's back.
I think you have to stop talking. I think you just have to stop.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for walking me off stage there.
Yeah, I think you gotta go.
The Atlanta Hawks? Is that where you're thinking there?
Yeah,
basketball team.
That's what we were doing. That's what happened in the brain.
Oh, the folks are gonna love this one at home.
Association.
This league.
I got a sweat going.
For the people listening into the audio format, please flip over to YouTube where you can watch these always in the video form.
The best part of that was you thought you nailed that Hawk to a joke.
Oh, dude, that was a 10 on 10. Everybody laughed when they're driving to work. Every single person. They giggled so hard. They almost into oncoming traffic there. And
oh, God.
Instead, that was my own pothole.
Yeah, not laughing with you necessarily.
Yeah, no, I might be changing a tire on the way into work after that joke.
Oh, this is going to make the long-time line proud.
Ugh, tough.
Oh, wow. We apologize, but we don't because that was probably the best segment we've ever had.
Moving on.
NFC East. This pains me to say, but you know what? The Cowboys are regular season kings. It's just what they do. I think the Cowboys get first. Eagles are still going to be solid. Commanders are going to be a fun team, but I think third. Giants stink. I think Dayball. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I was going to say it wrong. Andrew's in my head.
Jeez, do you even know football?
No, I think Dayball's a good coach, but they just don't have the roster right now, and the quarterback position is lacking. So. I got Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Giants.
Yeah, Mitch, when they walk away with their from their best running back, tough look and you don't really improve anywhere else, don't really know what you're going to do. But how many extra wins do you think Dalvin Cook accounts for those Cowboys?
1, 2. The two-headed monster with him and Zeke, not going to go well, I don't think.
I'm going to add to this. I think they win the NFC East, but I think they get bounced in the first round. I mean, that's the Cowboys' way, and I think that's what makes it so much better. Cowboys finish 13-4 and get bounced in the first round. That sounds incredible. That sounds so fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the MO of that team. So, yeah, I mean, that's not a far-fetched thing to guess or predict. I think you're probably right. I think it's for me, it's the Eagles, and they're going to eke out that Cowboys team, and Cowboys just might miss the playoffs in my predictions. I've got the Seahawks, that is the Seattle Seahawks, not Atlanta Hawks. The Cowboys there might get snuck out by the Seahawks there and lose that final spot. They might have a 10-7 record, but miss the playoffs. And then the Giants and the Commanders are going to tie for last place there because the Commanders aren't going to be ready with Jaden Daniels, and the Giants are the Giants. So that's my top 4. Let's go to the NFC South. This was the worst division in football last year. Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons are going to try to change that. They do have the easiest strength of schedule, so I did have Bucks winning this one. Then I flip-flopped, and I've got the Falcons winning it, and the Bucks finishing second. Saints are going to come in third, and the Panthers are still going to be bad. Fourth.
I don't know if I want to go on any longer, but I think the Buccaneers run this back. And that's about all I have to say. I'd rather not talk about anybody else.
Yeah, second.
I don't think anybody else plays, so.
That's fair.
Nobody needs to know.
I've got the Falcons first. I'm with you, Ben. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. I think the Falcons were a quarterback away last year. Quarterback away from Arthur Smith still being the head coach. So Falcons, Bucks, Saints, and Panthers. Panthers are going to be bad again. Saints are going to be bad again. I think Dennis Allen gets bounced. Panthers are in disarray as an organization. Kirk Cousins is what the Falcons needed to be a legit playoff team.
That leads us to the NFC North, of course, everybody's favorite division. And no surprise here, who we got at the top. It's unanimous, folks. We've all got those Lions. We got the Lions, and I've got the Packers finishing second. They're going to be competitive in this division. They're going to come up at, let me see what I had their win total at. I'm going to have them at 11-6, probably in that 10-11 win range. They're going to be competitive. The Bears, maybe on the rise. The Vikings, as Mitch alluded to, I think still formidable with the Justin Jefferson there. Just because of that, I think they get some wins that they probably don't otherwise, and they're going to come up with a tie there for third and fourth.
It just would not surprise me if Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdowns but 24 interceptions. Like, I think that's what they'll still score points. I think there'll still be a solid team, but I think Sam Darnold is just going to turn the ball over a ton. Lions, Packers, Bears. You know what makes me hopeful that the Bears hype train is just way past where it should be? I've not watched a lick of Hard Knocks. They named Caleb Williams a captain.
What?
That's too far, too fast. That's going to crash hard. I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine. Although there's just something about him that's just like gives me the ick.
I hate it. I'm out on that, man.
Yeah, but like the fact that you named him a captain, not buying it. Not buying it.
Yeah, they cut old Equanimous. We talked about it, so also can't give any credit to that organization.
Nope. Matt Eberflus. With that said, Mitch, what do you think the Bears realistically come in at a win total? Just give me a ballpark.
Yeah, I'd have to look at their schedule. I mean, I still think they'll be fine. 7 wins.
I've got them at 8-9.
You said you weren't going to do this, and you're just finding ways to sneak in your predictions.
I'm kind of doing it, aren't I? What I will say for fans out there who are uninitiated, the Bears' first half of their schedule is a cakewalk. Their second half is not so much, but their first half, don't be surprised if there's some media hype around the Bears in week 7, week 8 in that ballpark where people are real high on the Bears because maybe they have more wins than some people are anticipating because that first half is so easy. But I think in the second half they struggle. And I think they struggle in the early half too at times just because of that rookie quarterback and some new things going on there. But yeah, that first half of that schedule is not bad. Mitch, you maybe just looked at it.
Well, I was just going to say, I would just love a Josh McDaniels with the Broncos situation where they just start so hot and then just have a cataclysmic collapse and their season just falls apart. The win total, according to Las Vegas, 8.5 for the Bears. Give me the under, please.
8.5. I'm right there. It's tough. That's a push. I mean, look at the schedule. Tennessee. You're starting off against Tennessee. Then you got Houston. Then you got the Colts. Then you got the Rams. Then you got Carolina and Jacksonville. Then you got a bye.
By the way, I should have dropped this in there. Vegas has the Lions regular season win total at 10.5.
And I get that, and I get why it's there. I think that's a little disrespectful, but I get why it's there.
They're all low though. To be fair, the
Right.
highest is Chiefs and 49ers 11.5.
Right. You guys think pop quiz or a curveball for you guys? You guys think anybody's in this league could go 17-0?
No one. I don't think anyone will ever go 17-0. The Patriots to go 16-0 had to have the best quarterback and coach of all time.
Do you think they're going to wait till an 18-game season to go 18-0 then?
Some of that checks out. I think we talked about it. I just can't. I stand with Joe Burrow. Just go to 18 games and do 2 regular season buys. The Lions have the worst 4 games. Then you do your bye. Then you have 13 games in a row. That's brutal. So you're going into the playoffs just dead. That's horrible.
Yeah, that shouldn't be possible. Last year they had a really good bye week, like week 8, I believe, and you couldn't ask for a better one than that. Plus you got like a little mini bye because they play Thanksgiving, so they have a couple mini buys in there with Thursday nights, but it's just not the same. So that is a challenge, some adversity they're going to face there with 13 weeks in a row going into the playoffs. Hopefully they can get a bye by winning the NFC North or NFC and get themselves a bye there in the NFC and start in the divisional round instead of the wild card this year. So speaking of which, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Before we talk about our Super Bowl matchups, Mitch, you alluded to the Lions returning to the NFC Championship game. What do you guys think for that NFC Championship game? What do you think the odds are that's an NFC Championship game in Ford Field?
Ooh. In Ford Field, I don't think the odds are strong. Again, their schedule is super tough. I think it's a rematch. I think we see a rematch of last year, and I think the Lions get a little revenge there.
I think if that does happen, and it's Dan Campbell's absolute dream for that to happen, I know he's said all roads lead through Detroit before. I don't see any team coming into Detroit and winning an NFC Championship game.
Agreed. 100% agree. You can't win in that environment, let alone an NFC Championship environment. That's going to be a Super Bowl-like atmosphere. So speaking of Super Bowl, let's talk about our Super Bowl predictions, folks. This is going to be juicy. Mitch, let's go to you first.
It's going to be Lions. It's the Lions' year. All the cards are falling where they should. I think they peak the mountain at the exact right time. All the flack I think there's no flack anymore. I think Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, especially Dan Campbell, have entirely redeemed themselves. Lions 27, Chiefs 24. I think we see Bates with the game winner, which would be such a good story, right? Like plays for the Michigan Panthers, gets picked out by the Lions, gets his shot due to injury, although I think we all think he was going to get his shot anyway, wins them the Super Bowl. I love it. Lions get it done.
Personally, I think this is just about it for the Chiefs era. Taylor Swift is kind of a thing with subtle images and messaging. So with the Eras tour comes the end of the Chiefs era, unfortunately.
Nice.
They will struggle for the next few years, but I'm going to take Lions Ravens here. I think in the next few years we're going to have some jumpers, Texans, Ravens, whoever he may be. It's going to be all up in there. I think Ravens, Lions this year though. Lions pull it out 19-12.
Bravo, my friend. Bravo with the prediction one of the eras coming to an end. Bravo with the leapfrogging of the AFC, because I think you're right on there with the Ravens, Chiefs, maybe the Texans in there, a couple other teams. I think the AFC is very competitive over the next couple years.
Do you think the Texans are going to be pretty competitive, Ben?
Yeah, I think they're going to be real competitive. I think they're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, and they're going to face the Detroit Lions, and they're going to face a buzzsaw, and the Lions are going to come out victorious. The Lions are your Super Bowl champions, and that's unanimous across the board. I've got the Lions 24, Texans 21.
Just let the record show, none of us is wrong when predicting the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Just do with that what you will.
True. Last year, Mitch, I think you had the Chiefs winning it, so congratulations. You were right last year. We hope you're right this year. We hope we're all right. And that will play a role in our season win total, because the Super Bowl is worth more. It's just always worth more. So fans, shareholders, I should say, comment below your Super Bowl picks. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? Who do you have in the Super Bowl? Comment below on Spotify and any of our social medias as well. Let's go to hot takes. This one's an interesting one. This one, we'll see how this one goes. This is something Tommy added to the list here. I will start it off with Tom Brady in the booth. I think it's going to be a very much a lightning rod in the booth, and I think people are going to come to hate Tom Brady in the booth, maybe more than Tony Romo.
Listen, I've got something to say, Andrew, before you go. I'm sorry, sir. How is he allowed to be in the booth? Have you guys seen all this stuff coming out? Now it's like, if he's going to be part owner of the Raiders, like if that goes through, there are going to be like super strict rules about what games he can, like, it's so dumb. Just pick one or the other. It shouldn't be allowed at all. No part owner in any team should be allowed to speak on other games. We're quickly going into a Troy Aikman or Kirk Herbstreit. Like, those two should not be allowed to call Cowboys or Ohio State games. This takes it to a whole nother level. I don't understand.
It's like having somebody at the local news on your payroll to write some fluff stories about you all the time, man.
Yeah, that's payola. Sounds like payola to me.
Yeah, that's tough. Hot take, and I've already heard it from a few Lions fans. We got a Rowdy Murphy right now. Golden Tate not living up to the Lomas Brown expectations.
I don't even know if this is a hot take anymore because I think I've said it. I like Joe Buck. I think Joe Buck does a fine job. I'm not a huge fan, again, when he's calling Cowboys games, but I like Joe Buck. Cowboys and Packers. Outside of that, I think Joe Buck does a fine job.
I concur. I like what Joe Buck's doing. What do you guys think about Greg Olsen?
Poor guy got the absolute shaftaroonie from Tom Brady, and I know that just Tom Brady just gets to do whatever he wants. I'm so confused by this whole situation. I thought Greg Olsen did a pretty good job. That seems to be like the new thing that stations are looking for, or whatever you want to call it, like someone who can kind of predict that, like, oh, this is what they're going to do. You see this linebacker coming down, watch the blitz here. Romo kind of did it. He's getting away from it a little bit, but that seems to be like the new thing, is like someone who can actually come on and educate the people watching. I like Greg Olsen, though. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, the next thing we need is like that super analytical guy that was a player, watched a ton of film, and starts picking up on things as he's going on to the game. Hey, he's tapped his helmet a couple times and they've shifted to this, or they've switched to a pass every time that's happened. Things like that are what's to come. Look, I don't feel bad for Greg Olsen in any respect. He's going to be all right. But a little odd, none to say the least. And to bring up Greg Olsen, I don't know if you guys saw it. Greg Olson, Luke Kuechly, and Jonathan Stewart coaching a Carolina middle school team. These guys got to go undefeated.
No doubt. I just saw this when I was eating dinner. Top comment got a crack out of the top comment. The top comment was like, "You're still gonna have the dads that are like, these guys don't know what they're doing out there." Two, three guys that played at the highest level.
My kid should be starter, no doubt. What are these guys looking at?
How do you know how to evaluate talent, sir? Yeah, quite the track record, quite the resume, I should say. But yeah, you're right. I think if they don't go undefeated, that's probably the biggest letdown of all time. That's our predictions for our hot takes. I will add to mine about Tom Brady. I will say that personality wise, and analytically, I think he's going to do great. I think it's the personality that's going to come as a letdown. I think people are going to be let down by that. Let's talk about week one. We are moving right along on the show. We've got a lot to talk about, as we said. Let's talk about week one, and we'll go game by game here. As we do every year, we'll move over to the spreadsheet, boys. We're going to move over to the spreadsheet. We don't have the quite snake draft natural order that we had last time, so we'll just kind of see what happens. I'll kick things off with the first one, and then we'll just go from there. How about that? So, Thursday night, just in a few days here, we're going to have the opener between the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs at home versus the Ravens, 8:20. That one's on Peacock as well as NBC. Don't know why I got Prime in here. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be 82 degrees and thunderstorms. I've got the reigning Super Bowl champions in this one. They lost last year famously to the Detroit Lions in the home opener. I think they don't lose two openers in a row. This year they're going to get the best of the Ravens, but this one's going to be a good one, folks.
I'm with Ben. I like the Chiefs on this one. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a fun game. Great color game, too. Love when the Chiefs and Ravens play. Great color game. But I like the Chiefs.
Great call, Mitchell. And gotta fade you boys. Chiefs, like Ben said, do not win home openers. I'm taking the Ravens.
Take us down to Brazil, my friend.
Oh boy, I kind of forgot that's where this was, even though you've got it listed in the notes. Pack Eagles. I think the only thing the Eagles really had going for them was home field advantage, and Ben just threw that out the window. Give me the pack for the people.
I've got the Eagles in this one. I think the Eagles are going to have a bit of a bounce back year. Obviously, they fell apart, like, again, cataclysmically. Not quite as bad as Josh McDaniels did, but I like the Eagles. I think they're at home. Philly's spicy always. I think they figure out a way to get it done and temper the Packers' expectations. People are too high on the Packers, I think.
Well said, my friend there from Fort Wayne. I've got the Birds. Go Birds down there in Brazil. I think they eke one out here in international territory. Moving right along to another Bird team, the Falcons at home taking on the Steelers. This one's your first one in the 1 o'clock window on Sunday. This one will be on Fox. This one's in a dome. Weather not a factor here. I'm going to take the Falcons over my dearly beloved B team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just think the roster's not there. I think Russell Wilson's going to have to take some time to get in tune with that offense. I think Kirk Cousins shows he's the wily vet and looks better there at home. I'll take the home team. Give me the Falcons.
Ride with Ben again. I like the Falcons. I think, again, Falcons are a solid team this year.
Ben, way too early to start fading the B team. You got to go with the black and yellow. Week one, they've got nothing to lose. Let's go Steelers. All right. Follow that up. This one's going to be Arizona in Buffalo. Don't know what we got for weather. 60 degrees. Rainy? Uh-oh. That may change my pick. Psych. Still riding the Bills.
Bills. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be quite the joke that everyone thinks they're going to be and what they were last year, but I think Bills still figure out a way to win this one.
Yeah, I've got the Bills in this one as well. That moves us right along to an AFC versus NFC matchup. We've got the Bears at home taking on the Tennessee Titans. That one in Chicago on Fox. The Bears are 4.5-point favorites in this one. We've got 62 degrees and sunny. I'm going to take, unfortunately, the NFC North fellow team here. I'm going to take the Bears over the Titans.
I think I will also jump on that bandwagon, even though it's in the north. Sorry about that, buddy. Getting right against Will Levis as well. Not that high on him. Caleb Williams, you'll get at least one W.
No apologies necessary. I echo everything you just said, and I'm going to throw it right back to you.
All right. That brings us, if anybody's wondering, my fantasy defense team of the week, Pats in Cincinnati, taking on the Bengals. I'm riding with the Bengals. I think the Pats may be the worst team in football this year.
Wow. You've never been so right. Bengals, wallop them. Pats, going to be bad.
Andrew, always oh so right. This one is your biggest spread of the week. Cincinnati coming in at 9-point favorites over the Patriots. Bengals for me on this one as well. Let's go down to Houston. They're in the Dome. Actually, let's go to Indianapolis. It's Houston taking both of these teams playing domes. We've got the 1 o'clock Warriors, the Texans taking on the Colts. They are 2.5-point favorites here on CBS, and this one is going to be a Texans W.
I'm with Ben, and two of us are going to be right about this.
Oh boys, we may not be in Houston, but they sure have a problem. Colts gonna wrap it up week 1. Roll us over. Staying in the sunny state of Florida. 88 degrees. They're going to get some clouds. Probably going to be pretty humid there. Jaguars taking on the Dolphins. I'm riding with Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins.
I'm with Andrew, and two of us are going to be right about this one.
Upset of the week. Give me the Jaguars to own Florida here over the Miami Dolphins. Let's go to the Dome that is Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium, whatever the hell it's called there in New Orleans. New Orleans coming in at 4-point favorites here over the foe in the South. That is the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to take the Saints over the bad Panthers.
Mitch, same time?
Saints. Okay, well, we nailed that one.
That's tough.
I think at the final output, the sync will be just right, guys. I think there's a lag between our call here, but I think it's going to be perfect. Don't you worry.
You guys want to try it out? You guys want to all try it together on the next one?
Only when we all pick Duval.
Fair enough.
Giants.
Maybe in week 2. Maybe in week 2.
Giants over the Vikings. It's in New York. It's 72 degrees.
Oh, I see.
Giants.
We'll do it on the Seahawks one.
Okay,
Spoilers.
It's my bad.
You guys want to go? Do you feel like we do? Ben, why don't you? Ben, take us down to San Diego, would you?
San Diego, a.k.a. Los Angeles, for those who are uninitiated. We've got the Raiders taking on the Chargers at 4:05. Your first one in the second half of the day there. This one's going to be in L.A. in that dome that's somewhat open air. And the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites in this one. But guess what? I'm going to take the upset. Give me the Raiders.
I got caught up in a little bit of an Andrew situation there. I like the Chargers. Again, we talked about this. This is our this is where we all differed, or I differed with you guys in the AFC West. I just think the Chargers are going to figure out a way to get it done. I think there's going to be so much less pressure on Herbert this year that it's going to make him do really good things under Harbaugh. I like the Chargers over the Raiders.
Hey, I wish Harbaugh all the best of luck. Not week 1 against the steak slinger Gardner Minshew, though. Give me the Raiders.
You guys want to do this one together?
No.
Ben, you count us down.
3, 2, 1. Seahawks.
Hawks.
I knew Andrew was going to say Hawks. Listen, I think realistically, Seahawks get it done. Bo Nix throws a couple interceptions.
I agree.
Is Bo Nix confirmed starter?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tough.
Yeah, so that'll take us to Cleveland, taking on them boys from Dallas. This one's in Cleveland there on Fox, 63 degrees and partly cloudy there up in the Cleveland.
You guys want me to summarize this one for you?
Give me the Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, known woman hater, takes the Browns. Ben, Mitchell, and Andrew just storm on Cowboys winners. Moving on.
Allies, allies. I'll take us. I'll take us down to Tampa Bay. I'm against you boys on this one. I like the Washington, formerly known as football team. Um, I got a feeling about this one. I don't think NFL teams are ready for Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to have a good game, and the hype train on Jaden Daniels is going to leave the station pretty early this year.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield is still leading the conga line after that contract, and he's going to get himself a W week 1.
Agreed. Give me the Buccaneers over the younger Washington Commanders. 87 degrees and 70% chance of thunderstorms in that one. Some wet balls potentially out there.
Brings me back to Lions. Yep, Lions over the Rams. Rushing attack. Don't forget that the Commanders have Austin Eckler. Lots of speed on the ground attack from the Washington team.
True.
We all like the Lions. Andrew, kick us off on the last one.
All right. Your Niners outdoors, 76 degrees. It is going to be. Is this your Monday Night Football game? I am assuming. Yes, sir. It is against Aaron Rodgers and your New York Jets. Question before we all give our takes: does Aaron Rodgers bring out the American flag?
No.
Maybe
from Mitch.
I'm going to say 0%.
Regardless, I go Niners. That's way too long of a plane trip for him to handle.
I agree. I've got the 49ers in this one. Aaron Rodgers doesn't know how to win in his home state of California. Mufasa.
Yeah, 49ers. Sorry, I thought I'd picked because I just for all the reasons in the world, I want the 49ers to win. I think the 49ers are going to win. I don't want Aaron Rodgers to get hurt because that sucks. But 49ers.
All right, that is week 1 in the books. We will see what these tally out to be at the end of the week there. We will update you all on the next episode. We will record that on Monday following the NFL games on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. With the late game, with the primetime game for the Lions, we will be on Monday night for the recording of this podcast because we're working men and we can't stay up that late and record an episode after that then go to work because we're responsible. So we will be back following Sunday Night Football on Monday. Watch for that. We'll recap everything else as well up until the point of the Monday Night Football game, of course, and that will be our show, and then we will we'll be back into the cadence because the Lions have 2 games there in a row on Sunday in that 1 o'clock window, back to the 1 o'clock Warriors after that, and we will update you on the schedule from there, of course. Last thing here in closing time, folks. We got a couple things to hit, and then we are out of here, and NFL is next up on your schedule. Does anybody here have DirecTV in their viewing to watch football or anything?
We
I
talked
know
about
the long
that.
time does. Yeah.
I do.
I know, but we weren't
Tell the
recording.
people what's going to happen.
Disney and DirecTV are in a contract dispute, and Disney has not agreed to whatever the price DirecTV has offered, or vice versa. So DirecTV has pulled Disney channels, that is ESPN, ABC, FX, and among others. So if you're on DirecTV and you go to scan for some of those stations, you're just going to have a text on the screen that says you can't watch that. So heads up, if you're trying to watch Monday Night Football this weekend, no signs that this will get through, but it might. They got a lot of pressure because during the LSU-USC game last night, the game just kind of shut off there for you DirecTV viewers. So they're going to get a lot of heat, a lot of people switching over, obviously, to other options, Fubo, YouTube TV, whatever. If you do have DirecTV and you don't want to give up DirecTV, maybe you do like a 7-day trial of YouTube or Fubo to get you through a week, or maybe use a website that we shall not mention to watch these games. So just a heads up, if you got DirecTV and you want to watch football this weekend, be it college or Monday Night Football, just be wary of that. Andrew, last question goes to you, of course, the newest member of the Lion Den Cubs. We've got young Murphy there, made a few appearances already in the background, I'm sure. What's the update on Murphy, and how is he adjusting to life there at the pad?
He's good. He actually just gave me a little huff. Looking forward to a walk here in the next few minutes when we're done wrapping up. But other than that, adjusting nicely. Waiting for that
Love.
bandana so he can become an official Lions fan.
Yeah, where is that? Is that shipped or what?
Yeah, it's probably coming from China.
The boys might be twinning. Finley's probably got the same exact one. Just slip it right over the collar, or did you just do
Yep.
classic bandana? Yep.
Yep, bandana. What number? Did you customize that thing?
No, just Lions. He's just showing
Oh.
out for the whole squad.
Oh, he's number 2.
Gonna have to get the Lion Cub Lion, the Lion number 3, a bandana as well. I've got to get on the board here. Get a little bandana. Yeah, everybody's doing it. I've got the Lion. We've got the Lions mane here, and that's gonna be an option here going forward. He hates it, but we're gonna make him love it. So that's our show, folks. That was the big show. That was everything. We talked week 1. We talked the whole season. We talked Super Bowl. Big predictions from all the boys here. We're talking Soupy. We're talking Super Bowl expectations. It is high there in Detroit. It is high in the Mitten. It is high in the Lion Pride. Everybody's thinking high this year, and we love that. And we love football, and it's back, boys and girls, shareholders. We are excited, and we know you are too. We know that this season is going to be a good one. We have high expectations, and we hope you stay along with us the whole time. You got to like us. You got to follow us on everything. Rate us 5 stars here on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and whatever else you're consuming this media on, be it TikTok or Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We're growing there. Instagram as well. Look for content across that on your social media channels. Click follow, click like, everything like that. Just a few more days and we'll have NFL football on our screens. Let's go, Lions. I'm out.
Me, yo.